Hey, it's Eric. Happy weekend. We're going to be taking a look at the SPY on multiple time frames. In this video, I'm doing the video on Sunday. The market did hit new all-time highs this week. It backed a little bit off at the end of the week, but we're going to take a look at the multiple time frames using the momentum bands. If this is the first time you've stopped by the channel, you haven't seen these bands yet, I'm going to put some information on them in the description, so check that out. And also consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification so you don't miss any of the videos I'm putting out here. So let's start with the weekly chart. Our momentum bands, I put a video out a few weeks ago. I think it was right around here. And we saw this sell signal. And as I mentioned in the video, it's not a sell signal in the sense of we're going to go short right here, although that would have played out nicely for at least a week. It's really more of a warning sign to say, okay, well, which direction do I want to be trading in, or do I want to be kind of going neutral? And one of the things I pointed out in that video, comparing to previous times we've gotten this sell signal, is usually you get some kind of retracement, and it's in the retracement is when you want to consider shorting. Well, since that video, we've actually gotten the retracement, and the retracement was so strong, it actually closed back above. It just shows, how headline driven this market is. So at this point, with the market closing on a weekly basis above these bands, I'll be looking to, as the market retraces again, looking for buy signals on the smaller time frames as they turn back up. If they don't turn back up, then you don't need to, quote unquote, buy the dip. So right now, the weekly chart is back to being bullish, although I'll admit it's super overbought given the big move we had from 275 up to 294. That's an incredible move in the matter of 3 weeks. But again, a lot of relief rally coming off of Mexico tariffs and potential G20 meeting. Again, a lot of headline news. We got this little back off here in the end of the week, and we'll drill down to that. But let's keep going. Let's drop down to the daily chart. And obviously, the daily chart is still bullish here because we started with the weekly, but we are getting a little bit of a pullback. So we got a bullish signal here, and we retraced. We got a nice little pop, and we're starting to retrace again. What I look for actual entries and exits are the exact same momentum band indicator. Again, check the description for those details. I look for retracements on the 4-hour chart and the 1-hour chart. Those are the time frames that I really like to kind of focus on for entries and exits. And I'm really just waiting for the retracement at this point. We're getting one on the 4-hour chart, but what's interesting, if we drill down to the 1-hour chart, the 1-hour chart has actually fired short. Now, again, it's not in your best interest to take the short trade when all the larger time frames are long. If anything, this would be sort of an exit signal had you not exited. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. One of the trades I had taken, and I'm talking about with members, was this kind of bull flag here that was happening. And again, when you don't want to short the market necessarily when the larger time frames are bullish, and as we saw, the daily, the weekly, and the 4-hour are all bullish, but you could take signals here to the long side, and maybe you get stopped out, or you kind of hold through that, you get a long signal. And ultimately, I had a nice little pop the last couple days, taking trades to the long side in the direction of whatever the larger time frame is. Well, right now, the market has flipped lower. There's some news about Iran, and I think Trump tweeted today's Sunday, but he tweeted sometime today or maybe yesterday that there's going to be new sanctions coming to Iran. So there's some tension flaring up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this signal sort of play out. I'm not short because that would be going against the prevailing trend. But it'll be interesting if we do pull back. You're going to have, some minor support on these little gaps here, and maybe even all the way back down here to about 289, which is about 28.94, 95 on SPX. In that case, if you do sell off and you find support, then we could look to take long trades when the trend reverses back up. And this is the beauty of the multiple time frame and using these bands, is that if let's just say this was the top, it's probably not going to be turning back up. It's going to keep going lower. So it's going to keep you out of, getting long. You're not just going to buy the dip on the dip. You're going to wait for that momentum to flip back up for a directional trade. But if the pullback is enough to start to flip the larger time frames down, such as the 4-hour chart or even the daily chart, then that's when you could consider taking some more of those short trades. So that's kind of what I'm looking at head into next week. I'm really interested to see what this hourly chart does and how the market reacts to the Iranian sanctions. Again, subscribe to the channel, check out the description for these momentum bands, and I'll see you at the next video.